Hi everyone, Spider-Man 1991 here, and it's time for my weekly comic review. Okay, these comics came out October 24th, 2012. Let's start with the only title I get from IGN. Star Trek Doctor Who Assimilation, Issue 6. Alright, the Enterprise and the TARDIS crew have decided to form an alliance with the Borg, and for the rest of the issues, they start, planning their move on the Cybermen, and because of the Cybermen's attack on the Borg Collective, they're pretty much separated from their executive commands or whatever, and the Doctor agrees to use the TARDIS to go back in time to a specific point where they knew where the Borg were, so he can get the commands and bring them back to the present. So the Doctor, Amy, and Roy go in the TARDIS, and they travel back to a specific battle with the Enterprise had with the Borg, and that was the battle where Picard was kidnapped and assimilated into Locutus and became Locutus of Borg. And that's where the issue ends, with the Doctor finding Picard as a Borg. Nice ending, though. I will say this book has a nice ending. It's very fast. It's moving the plot along at a steady pace. I mean, they're starting to get people to come together. They're starting to form alliances, getting their material together, because they also stopped that planet to get gold, which is the only element that can harm Cybermen. Sorry about that. But yeah, this is still a great series. I would highly recommend it to Star Trek and Doctor Who fans. They'll definitely enjoy it. Moving along from Image, Invincible number 96. I'd say this is pretty much the conclusion / epilogue of the whole Flaxian invasion and what happened with Monster Girl and Robot. So Robot is given command of the Guardians of the Globe. And thanks to his brilliant leadership, they're able to defeat the Flaxians. And the Flaxian Emperor, who's also Monster Girl's son, is put in prison in the Pentagon. And after Monster Girl briefly visits her son, she and Robot talk, and then they get back together, apparently. And not ignoring the title character of this, well, two title characters, Mark Grayson, he's saying goodbye to his brother and Alan the Alien, who are heading back to the, I forgot the planet, back to where they were originally from. Where they have the coalition of planets is. I can't remember the name, though. I hate when that happens, and nothing really going on with Mark, but Invincible number 2, a.k.a. Bulletproof, a.k.a. Zandale, his arm was broken in the fight, and when he goes back to his apartment, he talks to his girlfriend like, "Oh man, I'm so glad my parents are gone. This would have been difficult to explain what happened," and unfortunately his parents are still there, and they see him with a broken arm, just like, wait a minute, how could you have broken your arm if your brother was a superhero and he's fighting the battle? So, that's very interesting, because I believe the solicitation for next issue number 97, it's going to reveal how Zandale became bulletproof and how he got his powers and stuff. And I think that's where we're going to get to the big reveal about how he's going to tell his parents about what happened to him and what happened to his brother. But yeah, Invincible number 96 was I'd say the entire Robot Girl Flaxian story arc was just kind of mediocre at best. I do like the ending about how they're going to lead into what's going on, of how Zandale became a superhero and stuff. I like how they're leading into that with this, and that's going to serve as sort of a one-shot issue. Then with number 98, we're going to get into the whole story arc, Everybody Dies, which is all going to lead up to Invincible number 100, which I'm extremely looking forward to. I'd say next issue is a good jumping on point for you if you haven't read this series, because it is one of Image's best. This is actually the only Image comic I read, and so it's pretty awesome. Alright, moving right along. Time for Marvel, and we're going to start with the final issue of Captain America, at least until Marvel Now. And this is also the conclusion to Ed Brubaker's run, and this is basically a one-shot story where Steve Rogers has gotten into a fight with finally tracked down the 1950s Captain America, a.k.a. William Burnside, and he pretty much beats him and hospitalizes him, and while Burnside is in the hospital, Steve goes and visits him, and he gives him a speech about like how what his life was like before he became Captain America, and how being Captain America changed him, and how eventually other people assumed the mantle, and how he has to be the one to carry the mantle and stuff. And this was just a very well-written issue. I think this is pretty much a great sort of farewell story Ed Brubaker has written for his run on Captain America. I mean, if you enjoyed Ed Brubaker's run ever since the very beginning, right when he brought Bucky back, I'd say you should definitely pick up this issue because it's amazing. Even if at some point you stop reading Captain America, you should make it a priority to pick up this issue because it is very nice. It's well written, very moving, about how especially how Steve Rogers explains how others have taken up the role of Captain America and how he's always been able to come back to it and stuff. I mean, this is a very good issue, and I would highly recommend it to anyone who's enjoyed Captain America. Alright, now for something that obviously everyone should see coming. The Amazing Spider-Man 696. The Kingpin and the Hobgoblin send a ransom video to Horizon Labs because they have Peter Parker, and they pretty much say, get Spider-Man to come to deliver the case that he stole from us a few nights ago, and they deliver the message to Max Modell and tell him that not to tell anyone. So Max goes into Peter's lab, and he gets the case that Spider-Man, who's really Peter Parker, stole, and he also grabs some web shooters so that he could use just in case things get rough. And so Max goes to deliver the case, and he talks, and and Peter is able to get out of his get out of the ropes that he's tied up in. Then Max gives him the web shooters, and with the web shooters, Peter is able to destroy the Spider Sense jammer that they were using to amp up his Spider Sense. And it's also revealed that the item in the case is actually something called the Goblin Key. And the Goblin Key is basically the key to Norman Osborn's hidden arsenal of ultimate Goblin super weapons. And right when Peter Parker gets back in the game, so does the original Hobgoblin. He shows up getting ready to fight his so-called successor, Phil Urch. No, Phil Urch. Sorry, I don't know why I said Bill. Slip of the tongue. Anyways, while the goblins are fighting, Peter and Max Modell are able to grab the Goblin Key and get out of the Kingpin's building. Right when they leave, though, the goblins decide, wait, let's duke this out later. Right now, we have to get that key back. And so the issue ends with Max Modell and Peter Parker running down the street with the goblins shortly following them. Man, this was a very great issue. I mean, seriously, this is just further proof that Dan Slott is doing an amazing job with Spider-Man. He knows what he's doing, and I'm really not worried about Superior Spider-Man at all. I mean, obviously Dan Slott knows what he's doing, okay? Ever since he took over Amazing Spider-Man, it's been a major hit. I mean, I can't really think of a story arc I haven't really hated that he's written, but man, this is really, really great. I mean, if you're a fan of the Hobgoblin, I really think you're going to enjoy this issue. But yeah, this is still Amazing Spider-Man. It's still an awesome book. Highly recommend you check it out before it ends with 700. Okay, now for DC, starting with Red Lanterns number 13. Again, I only bought this because I thought it was essential for Rise of the Third Army. It does tie into it, but it's still self-contained, because in this issue, the Red Lanterns are discover the existence of the Third Army, and Atrocitus discovers a weakness in them, is that the eyes. Whenever the Third Army assimilates a member of, whether it's a human or an alien, their eyes usually remain the same, and Atrocitus discovers that that the eyes are their weak spot. So that's pretty much it. I'm not going to get the rest of it. Pretty much my my reading list for Rise of the Third Army is pretty much just from now on going to be what's going on in the main Green Lantern title. And the only other Green Lantern book I'm going to get that ties into this will probably be Green Lantern Corps Annual #1, because I think that's what they said is the conclusion to the entire thing. But yeah, and again, I only got the 13th issue of all the Lantern books because of the conjoining covers. I'll probably get all 4 of them framed so that they look right together. Okay, The Flash, #13. The Flash and the Rogues deal with the guerrilla army while Gorilla Grodd, the leader, sneaks off, and he finds the machine that Dr. Elias built to help contain Flash's Speed Force energy. And when Grodd finds it, apparently he's able to absorb some of the Speed Force energy as well. So that's where the issue ends, with the Flash discovering where Grodd is, and now Grodd has started to absorb some of the Speed Force energy. Well, not exactly. This was okay. I mean, it wasn't terrible, but just meh. I mean, it is interesting to see how the Guerrillas are much more tied into the Flash and the Speed Force now, rather than just being like, oh hey, the Flash visited some city in Africa where they were talking gorillas. And also, there is a very funny thing that happens when Grodd is in the city. He runs into the Trickster. Not the original Trickster, but like that teenager, the second Trickster, who's like the teenager. And when he kind of like offers to help Grodd out, Grodd rips off his arm. That was just awesome. I don't know why, but I always thought that teenage Trickster was kind of a little prick. And I don't know, Grodd ripped his arm off. That was awesome. But again, this isn't really that bad. I mean, when Flash Annual #1 ended with the Guerrillas invading after he just fought the Rogues, I laughed because it just felt so random. But I don't know. Now it seems to be there's some meaning behind this. With Grodd trying to access the Speed Force and everything, so I think that might pay off. I think. As far as jump on friendly, I would say go back and read Flash Annual #1 and then read 13. Alright, moving along. Teen Titans #13, the new origin of Wonder Girl. Basically, this issue, Cassandra pretty much just recaps how she got her armor and how she met that guy Diesel, all while she's telling this to Superboy and Red Robin, who have journeyed back to the ruins where Cassie originally got her armor. And while they're there, Red Robin discovers that the armor has some connection to Trigon. So yeah, I really don't. Well, at least we're getting some revelations in this. I think if you're a Wonder Girl fan, you should check this out. Just to get an idea about what Cassie's new origin is like and how she got her powers and her armor and stuff. However, I don't know how I feel about the Trigon thing. I mean, it's just, what the hell? I mean, now her power comes from Trigon. Is that what's going on? I mean, why is she even called Wonder Girl anymore? Because it seems like there's no connection at all to Wonder Woman. That's the thing, though. Why call her Wonder Girl if she doesn't have any kind of connection to Wonder Woman at all? I mean, really. Come on. But, yeah, Teen Titans #13. I think if you're a Wonder Girl fan, you may or may not like this. But I think this is more Wonder Girl centered, so if you are a fan of her, I would say check it out. That's all I really have to say about Teen Titans. But, okay, now for the final comic. And this is something that has gotten some media coverage. It's Superman #13. What happens in this issue is Clark Kent quits his job at the Daily Planet because he's become fed up with the way they've been running the news. It's become, basically, to Superman, it's just become another form of entertainment and shock value instead of real reporting where they're trying to deliver facts. It's just pretty much been nothing about celebrities and reality stars, and Clark's just like, enough, I'm out of here. Okay, well, maybe that's not exactly the way he says it, but it's something where he stands up for his beliefs. And after he quits his job, there's a giant dragon thing that attacks Metropolis, and Superman fights it. And after he deals with it, Supergirl shows up and she says that that thing came from Krypton. So obviously he was lying when he told her that they were the last two Kryptonians. And also in the background, sort of hovering above Superman and Supergirl, is the villain for the next story arc, Hell. And when I say Hell, I mean it's spelled like right here, H''EL. So it is kind of a prelude to Hell on Earth, which is going to take place in all the Super books starting next month. I have to say though, this issue was actually pretty good. I like the way I can't believe I'm saying this, but I like the way Scott LaBelle wrote Superman in this book, because I think since the first time in the relaunch, he's written a Superman with some personality when he talks. Okay, I mean, when I was reading it, the way he talks and stuff, I'm like, wow, it feels like Superman actually has some personality in this. And then when he wrote that speech about Clark Kent when he's quitting his job at the Daily Planet, I thought that was really well written. And when I say this has gotten a lot of coverage, I mean that people are starting to pay attention to it because Clark Kent's quitting his job. It's like when, last year when Superman renounced his American citizenship, and also when Peter Parker got fired for doctoring that photo and getting blacklisted. So, it's kind of the same thing that happened this month's Superman, but it's a very good issue. I mean, I really liked, and I still can't believe I'm saying that this about Scott LaBelle, especially how I've pretty much haven't really been excited about his work on Teen Titans or Superboy, but wow, this time he actually wrote a character with some personality and zest. I mean, it was very nice, and I think Superman fans should probably check this out, and maybe even the Hell on Earth crossover, which is going to take place next month, because I look forward to that too. Okay, well, that's it for my comic review for this week. Thank you for watching. Now for the quick recap. Superman number 13. Clark Kent quits his job and a new Kryptonian villain arrives. How's he going to solve both problems? Also very well written speech when he quits. Teen Titans number 13. How Cassie got her armor and how she met that douche Diesel is finally revealed to us. Also, should she be called Wonder Girl anymore if it appears she has no connection to Wonder Woman at all? Flash number 13. The guerrillas' attack on Central City continues. The Flash runs into Grodd, who has started to siphon some Speed Force energy. Red Lanterns number 13. The Red Lanterns meet the Third Army. Amazing Spider-Man 694. The War of the Goblins is starting in here. Hobgoblin fans are gonna love this. And also, if you're unsure about what's gonna happen, if you're unsure about what Dan Slott's gonna do on Superior Spider-Man, check out his Amazing Spider-Man run, and trust me, all your fears will be put to rest. Captain America number 19. Ed Brubaker's last Captain America story. Very well written, very nice. Highly recommended to Captain America fans. Invincible number 96. The conclusion epilogue for the Flaxie and Monster Girl story arc. Ask me just some filler until we get to next issue, which is the origin of Bulletproof, and also the next story arc after that, everyone dies. And Star Trek Next Generation Doctor Who crossover series by IDW. Very, very progressive, still plots moving at a steady pace, alliances are being formed. Can't wait to see what happens when they finally face the Cybermen. And that's pretty much everything. Thank you for watching. Thank you for subscribing. Spider-Man 1991 saying see you later.